the truth and nothing but the whole truth. We are tired of the lies. We are tired of the false preachers and teachers and fake imams. Take back your religion and give us the truth. The truth as revealed by the Holy Tabernacle Ministry. We were once called Ansar Allah Community and also Nubian Islamic Hebrews. But now our teacher has revealed himself as who he really is. An extraterrestrial from the 8th planet, Nibiru, in the 19th galaxy called Ilium. He has revealed secrets unknown before our time. The master teacher is revealing the secrets of the universe. He is making plain how the planets were formed and who gave birth to the sun, the original Elohim or Anunnaki, who they were, where they came from. Now the teacher of the Holy Tabernacle Ministry is taking his children to another level, a level that cannot be followed by fake teachers, no imams, no rabbis, no preachers, or no ministers will be able to follow him about the teachings of the universe.
Upon arrival here, Ethricles has been at in 1970, and the taking of the control of this body, of this individual that was 25 years old, not of much use to us. I went, and if you read the books, I went to State Street amongst the Sunnis and sat there and listened to their teachers. Hafiz Mut'Awuhu, a Pakistani, Hussein, a Sudanese, Salahuddin, Palestine. I sat there in State Street with them, gathered on Thursday nights with them and listened. And said, no, there is no discipline here. This is a little bar-tasta. This is a law Akbar, which can be any law, and these people ain't getting no direction. They don't even know what these men are talking about. And these Pakistanis who speak Urdu, they don't even know what they're talking about. And the Sudanese don't care. They just get to get sandwiched because they're starving. Or they're students and they try to get somebody to help them pay for their student loan. So I left there and I went on to the Morris Science Temple out there in Queens with a brother named Salahuddin, who's a Rosicrucian, Astarian, he was everything he could read. Very confused. But he took me to the Morris Science Temple, he had his fence on and stuff, and I sat amongst them. And I listened about the noble Drew Ali story. He's a prophet. He wrote his own Quran copied out of the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus by a man named David. And I said, no, ain't no discipline here. Can't do it here. So I left it. Started listening to and reading Muhammad Speaks and listening to tapes of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And the Nation of Islam wasn't no Farrakhan, he didn't have no power back then. I roamed around the streets of Harlem and I encountered a subculture of wannabe Nation of Islamers, but wanted to still use reef and wear what they want and smoke and be hip-hop. It's called 5% at the time. Now they call it gods and goddesses and kings and all kind of names. They didn't bring stuff with me and things. I listened to that rhetoric. Said there's no shelter there. No shelter in the Nation of Islam. There's no shelter in the 5% nation. I went off to the Israelites, Beth Shalom in Brooklyn. Beth Israel in Brooklyn. And I went amongst them. We used to gather there in their Shabbat. We'd go in there, and I'd bring a small band of people with me, and some of them are still here today. And I sat amongst them, and I listened to their Kohens, or their rabbis, whatever name they want to use. And I saw them getting drunk at a party, and fussing and fighting with each other at the party. One of the Israelites temples from Chicago came in, and the Brooklyn community, they started dancing and grinding on each other's women. And I was sitting there. I said, no. This ain't the place to do it. Question is to do what, man? To prepare a group of people, 144,000 of them. Prepare them for the coming. What's coming, man? Christians call it the rapture. Muslims call it the return. Jews don't know what to call it. Most of the so-called black Israelite Hebrews are calling themselves Hebrews, but if you talk to them, they're really Christians. One's on 42nd Street, just like the Isaac brothers, jumping up and down, don't know a lick of Hebrew. Get on television, get all embarrassed by white folks who speak broken Hebrew. You've seen it. But they always talk about Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. There ain't no Hebrew, ain't no Jews in Israel, or ain't no ancient Israelites talking about no man named Jesus. No, that ain't happening. Yahweh first talked about Jesus, then he became Jesus. So those people are all Christians. Wasn't no shelter there. Where was I to find a place on earth or a culture that you can hide off into the corner and groom a certain amount of people to breed kids that, as the scripture says about Noah, would be perfect in their generation, that would not be touched by the what? By the hollow. Where could you do that at? So I looked and I said, the only religion that has so many dumb restrictions on it, so many unresearched facts, that were made to look like facts because nobody researched them, is Islam. But you have to grab a specific, you have to be particular about how you use it. So I said, how do I create a cult that would isolate itself from everybody? The Sunnis would leave us alone, the Nation of Islam would leave us alone, the Christians would leave us alone, and the Israelites and Hebrews would leave us alone. I said, well, the first thing is the symbol should be different. So you make a 6-pointed star and a crescent and all. That'll do it. Call them the Nubian Islamic Hebrews. That'll do it. Now to teach the word in Nubian. How to get the word Nubian born in America. Now I gave birth to the word Nubian in America. Now there's a million groups, singing groups, and companies using it. How to get this known, to get their attention on this, to get them off this and this. So we moved on out to Coney Island. I thought that was far enough away in Brooklyn, in an isolated area where nobody would know where we was at. And we gathered there. And the people who had met on the way, the adults who had met on the way, in my research to find out where to do this here, where to set the enclosed garden, followed me. And then I had Salahuddin, who was half Ansar, half modern scientist, half Rosicrucian, half Ashtar, and anything else he can get his hands on the message solar. He followed. Along came another guy, a little cuckoo, named Sadiq. He was a reject from the military. Once in Dar es Salaam, on 52 Herman Street, threw him out because of his laziness and shiftiness. He came trotting on amongst us. Next thing I know, this guy followed me. Now I can go on and give you a whole bunch of them. I have a whole band. I started saying, by looking at them, this group are faithful, but not true. They won't last. They'll serve the purpose, but they won't last. Now we have to breed out of these people, these children, to prepare for the rapture. I knew I had 30 years. You with me? From the year 1970, which was bringing to the year 2000, to get this job done. That means the children would be around 19 to 21. You follow that? By now, by the year 2000, if the process took place. Moved out to Coney Island, had these people, said I can't support all these people, just teaching them. We had jewelry, we had little trinkets we were peddling on the streets. We kept having run-ins with the Nation of Islam who couldn't withstand our teachings, 5% who couldn't take us, Sunni Muslims who couldn't deal with us, Israelites who couldn't deal with us. Next you know, we became the hated group, which was appropriate for what I wanted. Why? Because then the people would stay away from us and call us crazy. We had big bones in our ear. We wore long black robes with a big green 6-pointed star crescent and pump in the front of our chest, and black turbans or long or high black tongue bushes, which combined everybody's little culture. We had African gatherings. The sisters wore African garb. They did not wear veils. We played drums to keep everybody happy because you had to have chicken and stuff and music to keep black folk happy. And we gathered and then they'd ask questions, not answer questions. We started to build. And this thing grew. Nubian Islamic Hebrews. It was called Pure Sufi at first. Then we just called Ansars. Then we became Ansar Allah. He got it backwards. Alright? So by now, the population had outgrown Coney Island. People out there with the Nation of Islam was intimidated by us. During that period of time, the government had set up all these model city programs, and Ford Foundation was funding people to drop out of school and sit in storefronts in different environments and pretend they're educating black kids. Meanwhile, they just got a lot of black people during the early 70s to quit their jobs and get in these model city programs. Remember them? And that means they had a cesspool of debates for crazy 5% Nation of Islam. And every time we be on our way to try to go make some money to feed this kid, we bump into them and they waste our time trying to debate. Or we bump into the Yoruba. Everybody want to debate with us. And I had to step out front, clean that plow real quick, and step back in before I get too noticed. So I backed each one of them up by putting forth a question to them that their leader would know I'm not to be trifled with. I bumped into Minister Farrakhan way back then. He was downtown Brooklyn teaching in college, giving a lecture, and I was an audience, and I said, well, if Allah is a man who came to person and he is arm, leg, head, or A-L-L-A-H, and all that is a physical being only, there ain't no spookism, no spiritualism, no divine mind, none of that stuff, then what did I say? What was he standing on when he created the planet Earth? That question made them leave. All right, leave him alone. When I dealt with the 5%, I said, well, if Clarence 13X is Allah and was once in the Nation of Islam, then the Nation of Islam boasts the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the prophet. Correct? Then your Allah was a follower of a prophet, and that's backwards. Shouldn't it be the prophet is the follower of Allah? How did Clarence 13X become Allah from following a mere messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? So they said, oh, leave him alone. I bumped into Israelites. I said, well, in the scripture, Kings, he said he's going to wipe the tribe of Israel out of his sight. I would say, what is out of the sight of God? Or Elohim, or Adonai, or Allah, or Yahweh. What is out of the sight of Allah? I mean, he sees all things. He's the seer. What? Leave him alone. I went to Morris Science Temple, and I said, excuse me, this is the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus, written by a man named Levi. Could you open your Quran and start reading it? Said, now there's a strange coincidence that this exact same verses in here that's in your Quran, and it was written before it. According to the publisher. Now you can say, well, they copied that. You can't say anything you want, but it didn't help him, so he shouldn't have. What? Leave him alone. I went to the Yoruba temple. Baba Surgeon at the time, North Carolina community. It was on Manhattan Hollow, banging on drums and stuff. Remember the situation? And they talked about a rock called Shango with shells and with eyes, you know. I had to eliminate all this stuff with my people so I could get them to go to the next level. I took off my ring, which was a 6-pointed star crescent and Ankh at the time, and put it down and said, tell your God to move that. And he's all powerful. He comes with lightning and thunder and makes noise and he can hurt you. Well, hurt this ring. If you move the ring, I'll submit it. I'll join you right now. Go ahead. They said, well, our God don't do stuff like that. Well, don't do stuff like that. Move rings or throw spears at people. Which is it? Well, them throw a spear at it. They ain't got to move. That was the end of the argument. Right? The scene was set. As I was going through these different stages, I changed my name every 2 years to keep the attention off of me. I said, oh, I'm Imam Isa. Oh, I'm Dr. Imam Isa. Oh, I'm Isa Abdullah Muhammad. I'm Isa Abdullah Mubarak. Whatever you want me to be, just leave us alone. So I set the stage. None of the teachers wanted to come out against me. So these guys asked those kind of questions, you know, that get up under your skin. Like right now, I asked the question, what was Master Farag's blood type? That's my way of saying, I got more questions if y'all don't leave me alone. I got some more stuff that if I keep throwing out there, your congregation can go off to where he got arrested, and they can, the information of Acts bill, get access to his arrest files, and you turn it, and then look on there and see what kind of blood type Master Farad Muhammad had, and investigate that blood type and tell what race he comes from. And we're in that Arab stuff, we're in that Persian, we're in that Syrian stuff. We find out exactly that guy who got arrested, that you lost, is from Oregon. Just leave it alone, so I can keep going, but I'm leaving you alone. The last thing I did is superimpose the faces for you to say, stop playing with me, because I'm not the joke. I'm not the joking one. I'm not the fake one. I'm not the dumb leaders of the 5%ers out there just out there for the fun of it. I'm not, this job I'm trying to pull is the job. This is the real thing. This is all that and a bag of potato chips. With tax. This is real. You niggas out there, plastic. You're out there setting up stages and propping yourself and looking like a star, but it's plastic. It ain't real. Because you ain't teaching nothing. You ain't preparing these people for the rapture. When that shit comes, there ain't no joke. I had to go off and find the dumbest environment to merge myself into with this congregation that I would have a shield against it. And Islam was perfect for it. Because it had a following that would run around cube-shaped buildings, make 7 circles, kiss a black stone, wave at another black stone, going over to a well, drink a glass of water from a well that Hagar and Ishmael was supposed to be in, leave there and run to a space where Hagar ran back and forth, come on off the side, spend the night on a mountaintop in tents, collect a certain amount of pebbles, go over to a space and little round circle with a little rock mount and throw stones at it and call it the devil, and then move off from there and grab a goat and cut his throat. You understand? Cut his throat and call it a sacrifice, and then cut a lock of your hair, each person who's in Mecca, while you wear 2 sheets around you. You understand that? And then launch you back on home. Now, if that ain't Buddhism, or some form of witchcraft, or some type of paganistic ritual or practice, I don't know what it is. But these people walked around as if they were right. And to this very day, these fools, some Sunni Muslims, just the other day, as you heard, tried to kidnap the ex-president of the United States, Nixon. A Negro Sunni Muslim. Also some Negro, we ain't got nothing to do with them Egyptian Arabs, Turkish, will call themselves Egyptians over there, call themselves Muslims, were marching alongside this blind demonic sheikh on his way, while they're American citizens born here, got their families there, and this fool trying to blow up America where their families are at. And they see that as justified. He ain't born, he ain't good, he's over there in Egypt, they threw his butt out of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? He's like the Pope. The Pope travels around inside a big old glass tube now, waving his hand through a glass tube, and then declaring God is with him, for he is an intercessor of God on earth. But with this God, there is no protection from the stray bullet. When I see him driving by, waving his hand, I say, you are scared. That's your problem. You won't come out and stand in front of people because you are scared. Oh yeah, this crazy boy, all those crazy people that will shoot you. Well, if you believe in this spook God that has this power in contact with you, that he can save you, then the bullet would go anywhere but at you. But if some Turkish man, another stupid Muslim, was true, stepped up and tried to shoot the Pope. That was just a couple of years ago. Not tried to shoot the Pope. He did shoot the Pope. Shows one thing about the Muslims, their stupid killingness, sickness, and something about the Pope. You understand? You see Farrakhan marching on 1,000 bodyguards all posting around him. Where's your protection, man? Don't tell me Allah's up there protecting you and you walk around with 50,000 bodyguards marching all over the place. These are people who say they have faith in some power in the universe that is the protector, or as Allah, El-Hafiz, the guardian. He guards you, he protects you. You understand what I'm saying? So I found a very safe haven in the religion of Islam because it was so, the people are so stupid there. They don't even see what they're doing. I said, well, good, this is a place to be. So I took the Nubian culture of ours Ansars of Sudan, because with that alone, at least we stayed black. We could justify saying we're black. And put up the symbol of despair, black women, and the crescent of the Ansars of the Sudan. And it had a black, red, and green, which was a line that Marcus Garvey had got from this brother named Dr. Dos Ali, who was also an Ansar, who gave him the red, black, and green flag of the Ansar, but took the crescent and stay off. And the Mahdi was flying in the 18th century, and he got it over here in the 19th, the early part of the 20th century. We know where it came from. Perfect flag. Now, the other one on the Arabic one we had years ago like this. When the 6-pointer star and the crescent was just too complicated. People kept on saying, "What's that? What's that mean?" I mean, it's just too heavy for them. So we just went simple. You missed that. The spare in Africa, the person of Islam, the black and green is our cause. You got it? Fine. So we put on veils. We took off of our African attire, our akbaras and our pools and our galas and feathers and black hymns and black robes. We started wearing white robes of the Sudanese Ansar, but we did not pick up the toe of the Sudanese women because it was chiffon and see-through and expensive. Needless to say, so was the cotton as time went on. And we started dressing in veils and cloaked ourselves and had that cult type of look. And basically moved into Bushwick Avenue and settled in. And there I had an enclosed garden. We gated it off. The elder that visited us was Sheikh Dawood Ahmed Faisal from State Street, the founder of Islam in America here, and the Islamic Mission in America, recognized he used to come there religiously. Because I used to visit States and he used to tell the Sunnis, "That's the man y'all should be following." Point at me. And all they do is like, "Oh, gee, suck their teeth and start them out." He's a old cackle, man. He's a fanatic, that bone in his nose, he got a bone in his hand, a ring in his nose. I laughed because I knew this day was done. They didn't know what they were talking about. Where are they now? Where is Usherhood in Philadelphia? Where is Yassine Mosque or Darul Islam in Brooklyn? Where is Ummah Party in Washington? Where is the Hamas Mosque in Washington? Where are those 5%ers? Where are the true followers of Elijah Muhammad? Where are the people that said that we were merely a schism and we would pass or fade away? Where are they now? They approached us on the street and threatened us, threatened to beat us up if we continue to propagate, get off our block, out of our neighborhood. And my brothers would come back and say, "What do we do?" I say, "Move out the way, because time is on our side." Because they teach in their Bible, the Quran, truth will last or prevail, and false things will perish or fail. So if that is a fact, then just be the last attribute of their God, a subordination. And we were. And here we are, still thriving, and they're gone. Let me go back to the point, So the temperature was right. The atmosphere was right. We were crazy. People stayed away from us. They them crazy Ansars, that schism. What they call us? Anybody remember some of the names? Oh, they worship their teacher. He's God to them. Like they wasn't worshiping Muhammad, but that was okay. As long as he ain't black, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? So, I started raising kids. Kids started being born in a circle. We had a family. We gathered. We prayed together. We bickered all night. I said, Islam is an appropriate place to hide, because I knew that this is not information, but to be fair and to never be able to be called a liar. I said up front, listen, I came giving you what you want so that you would learn to want what I really have to give. I said that over and over again. All through the years. I look at that congregation in Brooklyn, and I give a football on Friday, and I say, y'all are faithful, but y'all are not true. You will not last. Very few of you. I said, many are called, and few are chosen. Most of y'all will be out in the streets slandering me and everything that the disciples of Jesus did. You understand that? I told them, one day y'all will be out of these veils. I only have them in veils for my own reasons. Be patient. Right? I said, one day we will move out of this city. and we'll move into an environment conducive to trees and raising kids in a safe environment. I said this for years. I told brothers yesterday, they said, well, we're like Hebrews, why don't we drink? I said, we can drink. We can't get drunk. And the moment you get drunk, then you violate your own divine right. You can call it a sin in Christianity and Judaism, you can call it anything you want, but the moment you succumb to that intoxicant, you reduce yourself, like Noah, from a divine being. If you read Genesis chapter 9 closely, you'll see where it says he fell from something. He lost something. He lost his divinity. He lost his supreme being and became less than a human being when he became drunk and lost control of his own faculties. But to sit and sip wine at dinner, zinc down or whatever, it's fine. But to go and have a bottle of wine in your back pocket and just say, wow, man, did you see that plane go by? Yeah, I'll drink to that. It's not what they meant. To celebrate the Shabbat, which was the day that the Anunnakis, which I'll get into later, the Elohims, had desisted from their work when they had bred you to do the work for them. You follow that? And when you got blessed by them so that you didn't have to do the work, you also kept the Sabbath. It was their Sabbath if you read Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 again. But how you got into it is because you, if you are sitting here and indeed a seed from Seth to Enos, they blessed you and gave Seth over to Adam. And then bred from Seth, the first Enos human being. Because if you read Genesis, you see that Elohim claimed Seth as theirs. And then Adam claimed Seth by saying, he is my image and after my likeness. Then he said, fine, then his child will not be Elohim, his child was Enos, a human being. And because you were disobedient to us, and even questioned me claiming the child, you no longer have access to us. I, as one of his incarnations, Ilamutajesser, have stand your little miniature test. For 26 years now, you have been trying to question me from 1970 about everything that you can go off that black devil, some of you, and try to trap me. You have, and I watch you, I know your line of questions, and I know who your father is, regardless of the color of your skin. Don't talk to me about white devils. Talk to me about black devils. And talk to me about some of those white angels that are trying to help black people today. Don't be gathering those little groups and call all white people devils just because it makes you feel like a god when you ain't nothing but a god-darn fool. A blind man being led by other blind men who know nothing about reality. This is the science of the universe I'm teaching you people. This ain't no Mickey Mouse out of the Bible, out of the Quran. God, I finished the Bible and the Quran in those years. Cover to cover, broke it down. Any story you ask, I explained it to you. Now I'm taking you to the next level of it, and I repeat, none of your teachers can come this way. They can stop at Egyptology. They can stop at Islamic history and theology and Christianity. They will not follow me up to this level of the birth of the planet and your universe. Then I'll take you free in information that they only imagine. You follow that? If you are ready to go. I personally am amongst the Elohim silent council that voted that they pushed the button on this life. You understand that? I oppose the existence of this planet and people. But less than 3 years ago, I cried before that same council to give you a chance. You understand that? And they said, you must teach them direct. So they're not going to believe it. They're not going to accept it. Said in order for them to be picked up by the ships by the year 2000, they must be informed, because you're supposed to be raised up 144,000 of you. Just like the members that manned the first ship was 144,000 with 24 elite. You must be lifted up. It should have been those kids that I had isolated under the cloak of Islam and in that cult that people left alone and hoped that you breed them and raise them. But no, you smuggled in candy. You smuggled in movies. A host of demons came in and married all the brothers in the mosque, including myself, and did everything they could to pull the kids into the streets. They put them in public school where they got exposed to rap music. They got exposed to novels. And then the ballet dancers stopped. And then the Quranic and the Dhikr classes stopped. You with me? And then they were satisfied because they had tricked us. Because we were looking for what? White devils. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed devils. And we listened to the way the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught it, and the way Noble Drew Ali taught it, and taught it the same way. And both of them missed the black devils. That was in their own midst. Because of the death of Malcolm X, they found out a black cop was his right-hand bodyguard and gave him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation that could have been the result of the death. Does anybody know the man with bullet wounds is not supposed to get mouth-to-mouth resuscitation? If you're a police officer, you've been trained to know that. But he was a black man. You go back and check the Malcolm X story, they give his name and everything. In the Nation of Islam, they found out that in the FOI, standing next to the Supreme Captain, Raymond Sharif, right? There were black devils. They didn't call them devils, they called them traitors and munafiqans, spies. They had all kinds of names for them. Amongst the Sunni Muslims, they found that they had been infiltrated by black devils. The Black Panthers, the Young Lords, the African pioneer movement of the 60s, or the revolution that was bred out of the 50s, they found out that some of their leaders that are walking around today leading Islamic groups again, and still cops in disguise. One right there in Atlanta used to be the head of a big black revolutionary movement back then. Burn, baby, burn, he said, as Rap Brown. Now he's some Muhammad al-Amin of some big Islamic group that sets out to kill people in the name of Allah. And call that righteousness. That's black devil. Ron Karinga, Leroy Jones, Stogie Carmichael, Angela Davis, Huey P. Newton, Eldridge Cleaver, what's some of the other ones? Bobby Seale. Come to find out the brothers and sisters that were leading the revolution in the 60s are still alive. Are still alive and walking the streets free. Some of them are even trying to start new organizations, like Leroy Jones. Those are the black devils that undermined Marcus Garvey, set Marcus Garvey up. Those are the black devils who set Noble Drew Ali up. Those are the black devils who set the Honorable Elijah Muhammad up. Because you 5% is only paying any sense. Those black devils are the ones who assassinated Clarence 13X. We're so busy calling the white man the devil, building our merits and props on that. We're forgetting we're surrounded by devils. The only time you call them the devil is when you go to try to get your driver's license and you're in a line and this one old black woman goes out her way to make your day miserable. Or you're in a welfare office with a social worker, or it's your parole officer, or 3 cops come to your house and a black one is spending so much time trying to, well, let's look in his bedroom. Let's look under there. And the white people say, come on. This is the wrong place. Well, let's check him anyway, you know. Where you wrote those things off, and what you call those people? Angry Negroes, Mad Negroes, Uncle Tom. Right? But you never called them black devils because you never wanted to admit that there was a such thing as a black devil, because then you had to start questioning your own nature. But now we know there's black devils in here right now. They're not sitting here for the same reason you are. To get this divine information, to make a link back to your Elohim fathers and mothers who are in heaven, to get out of here. They're sitting there hoping they can track me. They want to offer me some book written by a white man on science and come back and ask me some stupid scientific question about stuff that's in your century, and I come from almost 100 centuries ahead of you. And always have it. And you have not been able to trip, trap, or catch me in any of your little tricks, just like they couldn't trip, trap, or catch Senenda, Jesus, 2,000 years ago. He made a fool out of him every time. And every time you try, like your little stupid cult book, I said, oh, you want to play games, huh? You really think I'm a Muslim? You really think I care about Islam and worshiping the Kaaba? You're missing the point. That's not who I am. That's my cover to get the truth to my people. I'm not following no white Arabs. I'm not worshiping no rocks and no buildings and no monuments and passing little beads to my finger because I believe in this stupid Buddhist tradition you captured into Islam. Don't make me mad. I'll tell you about yourself. So you let some fool, but I'll write a book about me. I had to stop what I was doing, which was addressing the Jesus story, and address you people. You satisfied now? I wrote a book called 360 Questions to Ask a Sunni Muslim. You haven't been able to answer questions. Don't you wish you would have left me alone? I wrote an apology to the Nation of Islam, not because I really believe Master Prophet Muhammad. I didn't care about him. I knew he had a blood type, and I know his blood type. So I know what he was. Because I'm the one who put the pictures out that nobody else had. So if I had a police file, you know I know his blood type. And you know I'm smart enough to look at his blood type and trace out where he really came from. Don't play with me. But no, I put the apology out and tried to be nice and said, all right, listen, I spoke to Elijah Muhammad. What did you say? You saw him on the flying saucer? Okay. Farrakhan saw him on the flying saucer. I spoke to Elijah Muhammad on the flying saucer with a dream, in a dream state. All right, I'm sorry. Okay, go on about it. At least you got people, they're not drinking, they're not smoking, they're not out there cussing and trying to hurt each other. At least they're trying to do something for themselves as a people. Get up off that little racism stuff and you'll be all right. Let's move on. Watch out with them black devils inside there. Stop blocking all the white folks, because some of them are better than them niggas you got sitting next to you. That's true, it's true. Let's move on. No, couple of fools. Farrakhan never had touched it. He was smart enough to leave it alone. He's an intelligent man. But some of the fools, see, your imam apologized. That means that he ain't right and exact. That's what you did. I thought you said a long time ago that there were people wrong. Now in the apology you said, so you forced me to put a film out and superimpose the faces on top of each other. Now, I wouldn't have done that. I was leaving you alone. I was going about my business. I was not going to take the pride in trying to destroy a black nation and make myself look good. I was saying humbly, I'm sorry for attacking this black nation. We shouldn't do that. We need to stay as close as we can about our facts. I don't care what Farrakhan believes. I don't care what Farrakhan feels in his heart. I do care what they teach other black children and other white children and other Latino children and other Oriental children. I do care what they teach the children on the planet Earth. But I will leave you alone because I'm watching you close to see how you're taking it. And what path you're taking them, it ain't dangerous yet. I mean, they'll find their way here in due time. It's better there than sitting amongst them Sunnis worshiping them Egyptians or them Saudi Arabians or them Pakistanians being changed into homos. That was better. No, but some fools who don't know how to leave stuff alone gotta come back out and ask me the question that I'm purposely trying to avoid. You follow? So now you forced me to put out a video. You know the name of it? That's right, on Elohim. And superimpose the faces so you can see that Ford, Wallace, D. Murad, and all of them are the same man. You can't get around superimposing a human face that you denied. The lips, the eyes, the hair, and everything matches up. And I didn't say anything after that. I'm willing again to leave you alone. Stop trying to interfere with my mission. You understand? Mine is on facts. I can stand in front of any one of your teachers and tear them apart in less than 5 minutes. And ain't not one of you can come out and dare stand against me. You can send out some nut from your congregation who thinks he's heavy, and I won't waste my time. I'll send one of my sons. But if you got somebody from the top who wants to talk from Dr. Ben Farrakhan one-on-one. Don't be sending me some subsidiary so you can have an excuse for saying, what did he say? You leave him with me too long, he won't come back. He'll be right here with us, but you'll see where the truth is. But they can't see that. They're caught up in a God complex.
Do you believe that Earth is being visited by beings from other worlds? Do you believe that these beings are far more intelligent and far more advanced than those of the planet Earth? If you are one of these people that are sensitive to those truths about the people or beings from other galaxies, then these tapes are for you as distributed by the Holy Tabernacle Ministries.
In Kuwait, it's a new army. America's in it. Russia's in it. France is in it. Who else is in it? Canada, Germany, Pakistan, Nigeria. All these demons have come together. Black, white, Oriental, Latino, it don't make no difference. Devils come in all colors, shapes, and sizes. Speaking every language and every religion. That's their favorite thing, religion. That's been set up. The power has been set up. One worldism is in place. Now they just say a thing. We're going into a country and we're going to take it. Our first step is revelation. Nobody better not buy or sell to that country who does not live under the mark of the beast. What do they call it today? Sanction. When they say you cannot sell to Iraq and Iraq can't buy from nobody. Revelation. They did it in Somalia. They did it in Sudan. They're getting ready to lift it in Cuba. They're getting ready to lift it with the Palestinians. Because Yasser Arafat, which I told you a year ago, when he had that plane crash, I said, watch him change. Did I not? Well, he had that plane crash. He's the only one that they pulled out that plane crash. And I saw him on television. They had him on that stretcher. I said, that's the end of Yasser Arafat, and that's the end of the PLO. When he comes out of that hospital, he's going to be a docile person. Because they know how to remove portions of the brain. Because they remove from you the pituitary gland in the hippocampus region of the brain in the cerebellum. And it cut off your 4 higher senses. So you're no longer in contact with the Elohim 6,000 years ago. That's a long time, huh? Cut off your divinity. Well, they do that. Nowadays, they simply call it lobotomy. The pituitary gland is hooked up to your appendix and to your tonsils. Vibration, kunna, ein, open you up. They open the head up in the story of the removal of the rib. Why did they remove the rib? They didn't have to remove a rib. A man has 24 rib bones and a woman has 24 rib bones to this very day. That's a scientific fact, and don't tell me it's back. Because they were grown-ups, not kids. They removed the bone because the blood is formed in the bone, the marrow. So they know to go in there and find the purest blood for perfect generation or perfect genealogies for your DNA and your RNA. That's why they use the word rib. And they took out Adam's blood or Zakar's blood out the marrow of his bone and injected it into his mate to breed Eve or Nakeba. And at the same time, Nagal, the great scientist, opened their head and went down into the brain and pulled out the gland from the lower part of the front lobe of the brain. Well, it's psychic. Follow? They're in place. The devil has his empire set in place. The water is now poisoned. The East Coast, as I prophesied, is starting to go under. Every year, something new is happening on the East Coast. Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, West Virginia. Last year was New York. East Coast is going on. Everything I predicted in the book 666 is has or will. It had the earthquake in California. Though no one believed me until it happened. Had to call me. I thought you said there's going to be an earthquake. Why they was on the phone? It was happening on television. It ain't funny. It's funny to y'all, it ain't funny to me, because if I was white, I know they believe me. Remember, because on the movie, everything I say, you got to sit there and try to pick it apart. So the ship that comes for you will take you for that 1,000 years, or then you will come back as King of Kings, Masters of Masters, they call it Lord of Lords. You will be groomed. They will replace the gland. Your eyes will be open. You will become like one eye again. You know what I'm saying? You'll be coming forth as Elohim. And when you come back with the ship, what's going to happen is the devil, who we only can bind with a chain in hell, will be let out of his prison cell, literally, and come back to unite all of his people again. You understand that? And then they're going to set out to try to destroy you. And when they go up to climb the mount, they call it, right, of the Holy One, the elders will shoot from the ships fire from the sky and destroy him and take him. It says in the book of Revelations, him, his false preachers, that means his imams, his rabbis, his ministers, his pastors, and all the titles that they take with their false religious Bible, Quran, Old and New Testament teachings, and cast them and him for faith in him and not truth into a lake of fire they call sulfur. In the Bible, brimstone. Look it up, which means it's a physical fire. You understand that? Cast them into it. Who else? Them, the false prophets, and everybody who chose to live in his image. All these people who want to be white folks, who want to be super Michael Jacksons. I mean Michael Jackson wants to be white. There's niggas who want to be Michael Jackson, who's black. People like who want to be Prince, who's black. And who's Oriental, trying to be Michael Jackson, trying to be Prince. All of them will be cast with you. You understand what I'm saying? Into that lake of fire where they will be wiped out forever. And it says, and I will wipe away this earth and this heaven, and I will bring in a new earth and a new heaven. And he feels sorry for those who are not a part of the second death. You follow that? The first death takes place when they leave, and you are unguided. From 2000 to 2030, you'll be unguided. No guidance, no leadership. It's already started. The devil runs rampant in his power. He just knocked the Rodney King in the head, and nobody can do nothing about it. I can send a fleet of names, and I'm only talking about Rodney King because I'm in America. Usually in Africa, you be hearing about Nigerian police doing that to white tourists. If you was in Trinidad or Barbados, you hear about them doing it to white people that they're visiting, knocking them in the head, and the government over there don't help them. You're only talking about here, so you launch everything about what happens to Negroes here. Come to find out Rodney King ain't nothing but a black devil. I'm the first to have told you that. Now you see, since the incident, you think he's straightened up? He can't, because he's a black devil by nature. And his whole job was, of course, to riot to get all them people hurt. That was his job. Now he's out doing the same devilish thing he was doing when he got arrested. It was all a plot of the devil to try to start a riot. As I've been telling y'all for the last 3 years, the white man who rules now is trying to start a riot. He's trying to get a riot. Well, they got it hooked up, but you were not stupid enough to stay in it. So he then killed and beat up 4 or 5 other people since then. But you're too caught up. That's what they said. Angel of death said, man, when the Almighty spoke to him and said, man's going to be so involved in this world, he ain't even know when you're there. Angel of death is lurking over you right now. But you're so caught up in something you don't even realize. Caught up in such a petty, trivial thing.
Chapter 1, The Creation. Begin all acts and thinking by using El Kalum, the All. Tablet 14. In our image and after our likeness. 19 times 6 equals 114. Lo, and we had mercy upon your kind. So we the Anunnaki said amongst ourselves, now let's breed by cloning people that are Homo sapiens of this Adam of planet Earth, the Adamites, looking just like ourselves, the Anunnaki, having 9 ether hair and coating their genes in melanin, that they may act like ourselves with right knowledge. We will give them rulership over the fish of the sea, all the reptiles and birds of the skies, and all the gargoyles, and over all the non-speaking mammals, beasts of the field, and all the creeping things that creep upon the planet Earth. And the Allahum Anunnaki made to evolve all the domestic living animals that appeared on the planet Earth to breed from themselves. And all the creeping things upon the planet Earth bred from themselves. And the Anunnaki saw that things this way were agreeable. The Anunnaki Allahum Kalkael, also known as Rudwan and Uriel, son of Azariel and Rafikiel, then said, here you have been given every herb with a yielding seed, which is on the surface of the whole planet Earth, and every tree that yields fruit and has its own seed to reproduce. All of this is for your food. The Anunnaki Nudimud, who is also called Enki, one appointed by El Elo for the breeding from the Anunnaki Ninti, daughter of Anu, procreated people, Homo sapiens first called Nubans, then becoming Nubians are the Adamites from Homo erectus, which had 6 ether hair, and the original Anunnaki with 9 ether hair to look like herself using her own divine seed. Ninti, giving Nubians 9 ether hair and acting like herself. The Anunnaki procreated them into one called Adam Kadmon, who had 8 ether hair, and Nekeba Hoa, who had 9 ether hair. Now this is how she, Ninti, procreated them of her own seed, and the Anunnaki blessed them. The Anunnaki said to them, so they would not have to be moved to Rafali to Monadapa, now called Zimbabwe, to work as slaves in the mines until they die. Breed children and multiply, and refill the planet Earth, and keep it under control, and rule over the fish of the seas, and the birds of the skies, and over all that live and swim on the planet Earth, every living animal of the planet Earth, and to every birds of the skies, and to everything that swims on the planet Earth, in which there is a living soul. Every green vegetation is for food. The Supreme Being is the being appointed vegetarian. He is not to eat of the blood of its creatures, but to maintain its olive hue by the chlorophyll of the herbs that are most abundant on the earth and beneath the earth, being born copper red to purify into olive green as you green ones. And this happened. The Anunnaki saw all of the things that were fashioned, and here it was, all very agreeable for them. It was the dust period, and the new 6th day of 7,000 years was over. So the skies and the planet Earth were prepared, and all the living beings of both of them. On the 7th day, the Anunnaki Enki, who was also called Nudimud, finished his duty which he had done, and he desisted. He kept the Shabbat, and he desisted on the 7th day from all his duties which he had done. The Anunnaki Enki blessed the 7th day, and he declared it Gadash, holy, because in it he desisted from all his duties which the Anunnaki had done. These Anunnaki are the genealogy of the skies from the planet Risk in the galaxy Ilium, a planet of another galaxy, and the planet Earth, also called Ki, when they were reconstructing and procreating in the day that the Anunnaki made the planet Earth and made its skies reappear. They planted every shrub in the parts of the outer field, outside the enclosed garden before they had actually grown, and every herb before it had sprouted seeds, because Yahuwah, who is the head of the Yahwehin of the Allahum, the Anunnaki, had not made it rain upon the earth. An Adamite Homo sapien was not here yet to be an Ad slave and work as miners of the ground. So a mist of water clouds ascended up from the planet Earth in order to irrigate as rain the whole surface of the ground where the seeds had been planted, and Yahuwah of the Allahum shaped Adam from Ninti's clot of granulated blood from the people of the ground. They gave Kadmon the breath of divine life, and Adam was born as spirit, and Yahuwah of the Allahum ordered Arazal to build the foundation of the garden, and Ashnan Thukiak, who came from the school of the peacock under Murdoch, for the planting of the special enclosed garden of delight and pleasure. Over there he placed Adam, whom
Let this sweet mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild your gums and teeth while you sleep, and say goodbye to the dentist forever.
whom was cloned. From that same ground did the Yahuwah of the Elohim grow every tree and flower that was beautiful to the sight, and the vegetation that was tob, good for food. A special tree of hallucinating herbs was in the center of the enclosed garden, giving one his own willpower, and the Anunnaki said amongst themselves, "Indeed we have made them in the constellation, and we have beautified them for the eye of the beholders. We have guarded it from all the accursed reptilian serpents, the Luciferians and the Natas, people who are from the deep, those jinn who disobeyed the laws of El Elo for human beings. He was of the Kafarun, yet he has stolen from it, and we curse Zuen as a visible flame, and throw upon firm mountains. We cause to grow in it everything well measured, and we have made for you therein means of sustenance, and for every other creature whom you are not the sustainers. There is nothing except what is with the Anunnaki, which are its treasures. And do we not send the winds fertilizing? Then we send down water from the sky, so we give it unto you to drink of it. And is it not you that is its storers? Verily, only we, none else, cause life and death. And we are the only heirs, and indeed we know those eager to be foremost amongst you. We know those who like to lag behind. Verily El Elo, your Rab, who is the sustainer, he will gather them together. Verily he is El Hakam, or the wise one El Alam, or the one who knows. And indeed we the Anunnaki created Enoshites of black mud, fashioned and shaped. The jinns we created long before Adam, of fire, of Samum or summon, from which the name Samael, son of Shakar, comes from. To the other Anunnaki rulers, verily I am going to create human tissue, of the essence of black mud, fashioned into shape of the very dust of the Adamah ground. They, Natas, wanted the remains of the black mud, which was kept safe in a small 4x4 black box, which is now the Kaaba of Arabia. It is the Anunnaki who assigned you a period of time to live on earth, created all of you from clay, then only by you. You still harbor suspicions, and its termination is known. So when I have completed him, and have breathed into him of my own soul, then all of you are to fall down and prostrate before him. O Enoshites, worship your sustainer, who created you and those beings before you. Happy you may guard yourselves against disagreeableness, who made the earth a resting place for you, thereby produce fruits for your sustenance. The sky was a firm structure, and the Elohim caused the water to descend from heaven. Set you not therefore equals for him, while you already know. Who created you looking like herself, Ninti, and acting like herself? Ninti, a female Anunnaki, and controller of the Shimti laboratory. Put on your shield of protection against the deceivers. Many have gone into the world, and yet still many are not yet born. Ninti is the mother of your procreation. Before Zeus, women were recognized as the mother deities. We have males born of females, yet we will restrict them. All of the great prophets came through the canal of a female. Only in the reptile family do you find males transforming into females and females transforming into males by nature's call. Associate not with the man that respects not the woman, for even that man was conceived by the woman. The mother simply means the meta or matter. She reflects the light of a properly lit sun in wisdom. She has 4 periods as the 4 phases of the moon. The moon that you see has no light of its own, but it has mass, and it does exist in a purer state, darkness before chaos. Thus, her weakness comes from the man. Darkness is pure, and the moon sits in darkness as an assistant to the earth, controlling her tides, as the moon, rightly called Luna, has an effect on the mental state of those who lean toward her, the lunatic. Let not the sensitivity or the apparent weakness of the woman alter your state of consciousness. Stay in control. If the moon ceases to pull upon the tides of the planet Earth, it would overheat as the evening comes and be no more. If a man ceases to respond to the whims of a woman, or over-responds to the emotional changes of a woman, he too will overheat, transforming into a lunatic and be no more. Gaia is her name. She has been worshipped by many names, be they agreeable or disagreeable, as Bunbulma, Buto, Aegisit, Aditi, Hina, Chaukaliku, Atta, Maat, Nikea, Sidtu, Amaterasu, Asit, Attis, Amphitrite, Ait, Attis, Andata, Arainrid, Arena, Kali, Artemis, Artoi, Assesia, Adunia, Yemia, Arzit, Asherah, Asiak, Badbekatha, Athena, Atagan, Ujal, all mother deities in many tongues and places. This is how it was recorded, and this is how it will be. Holy, because in it he desisted from all his duties which the Anunnaki had done. These Anunnaki are the genealogy of the skies from the planet Risk in the galaxy Ilion, a planet of another galaxy, and the planet Earth, Alam, or the one who knows. And indeed we the Anunnaki created Enoshites of black mud, fashioned and shaped. The jinns we created long before Adam, of fire, of Samum or summon, from which the name Samael, son of Shakar, comes from. To the other Anunnaki rulers, verily I am going to create human tissue, of the essence of black mud, fashioned into shape of the very dust of the Adama ground. They, Natas, wanted the remains of the black mud, which was kept safe in a small 4x4 black box, which is now the Kaaba of Arabia. It is the Anunnaki who assigned you a period of time to live on earth, created all of you from clay, then only by you. You still harbor suspicions, and its termination is known. So when I have completed him, and have breathed into him of my own soul, then all of you are to fall down and prostrate before him. O Enoshites, worship your sustainer, who created you and those beings before you. Happy you may guard yourselves against disagreeableness, who made the earth a resting place for you, thereby produce fruits for your sustenance. The sky was a firm structure, and the Elohim caused the water to descend from heaven. Set you not therefore equals for him, while you already know. Who created you looking like herself, Ninti, and acting like herself? Ninti, a female Anunnaki, and controller of the Shimti laboratory. Put on your shield of protection against the deceivers. Many have gone into the world, and yet still many are not yet born. Ninti is the mother of your procreation. Before Zeus, women were recognized as the mother deities. We have males born of females, yet we will restrict them. All of the great prophets came through the canal of a female. Only in the reptile family do you find males transforming into females and females transforming into males by nature's call. Associate not with the man that respects not the woman, for even that man was conceived by the woman. The mother simply means the meta or matter. She reflects the light of a properly lit sun in wisdom. She has 4 periods as the 4 phases of the moon. The moon that you see has no light of its own, but it has mass, and it does exist in the purest state, darkness before chaos. Thus, her weakness comes from the man. Darkness is pure, and the moon sits in darkness as an assistant to the earth, controlling her tides, as the moon, rightly called Luna, has an effect on the mental state of those who lean toward her, the lunatic. Let not the sensitivity or the apparent weakness of the woman alter your state of consciousness. Stay in control. If the moon ceases to pull upon the tides of the planet Earth, it would overheat as the evening comes and be no more. If a man ceases to respond to the whims of a woman, or over-responds to the emotional changes of a woman, he too will overheat, transforming into a lunatic and be no more. Gaia is her name. She has been worshipped by many names, be they agreeable or disagreeable, as Bunbulma, Buto, Aegisit, Aditi, Kina, Chaukaliku, Atta, Maat, Nikea, Sidtu, Amaterasu, Asit, Attis, Amphitrite, Ait, Attis, Andata, Arainrid, Arena, Kali, Artemis, Artoi, Assesia, Adunia, Yemia, Arzit, Asherah, Asiak, Badbekatha, Athena, Atagan, Ujal, all mother deities in many tongues and places. This is how it was recorded, and this is how it will be.
Reubenites, Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, and On, son of Peleth, became insolent and rose up against Moses. With them were 250 Israelite men, well-known community leaders who had been appointed members of the council. They came as a group, to oppose Moses and Aaron, and said to them, "You have gone too far. The whole community is holy, every one of them, and the Lord is with them. Why then do you set yourselves above the Lord's assembly?" When Moses heard this, he fell face down. Then he said to Korah and all his followers, "In the morning the Lord will show who belongs to him and who is holy, and he will have that person come near him. The man he chooses he will cause to come near him. You, Korah, and all your followers are to do this: take censers, and tomorrow put burning coals and incense in them before the Lord. The man the Lord chooses will be the one who is holy. You Levites have gone too far." Moses also said to Korah, "Now listen, you Levites. Isn't it enough for you that the God of Israel has separated you from the rest of the Israelite community and brought you near himself to do the work at the Lord's tabernacle and to stand before the community and minister to them? He has brought you and all your fellow Levites near himself, but now you are trying to get the priesthood too. It is against the Lord that you and all your followers have banded together. Who is Aaron that you should grumble against him?" Then Moses summoned Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, but they said, "We will not come. Isn't it enough that you have brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness? And now you also want to lord it over us? Moreover, you haven't brought us into a land flowing with milk and honey, or given us an inheritance of fields and vineyards. Do you want to treat these men like slaves? No, we will not come." Then Moses became very angry and said to the Lord, "Do not accept their offering. I have not taken so much as a donkey from them, nor have I wronged any of them." Moses said to Korah, "You and all your followers are to appear before the Lord tomorrow, you and they and Aaron. Each man is to take his censer and put incense in it, 250 censers in all, and present it before the Lord. You and Aaron are to present your censers also." So each of them took his censer, put burning coals and incense in it, and stood with Moses and Aaron at the entrance to the tent of meeting. When Korah had gathered all his followers in opposition to them at the entrance to the tent of meeting, the glory of the Lord appeared to the entire assembly. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Separate yourselves from this assembly, so I can put an end to them at once." But Moses and Aaron fell face down and cried out, "O God, the God who gives breath to all living things, will you be angry with the entire assembly when only one man sins?" Then the Lord said to Moses, "Say to the assembly, move away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram." Moses got up and went to Dathan, and Abiram and the elders of Israel followed him. He warned the assembly, "Move back from the tents of these wicked men. Do not touch anything belonging to them, or you will be swept away because of all their sins." So they moved away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Dathan and Abiram had come out and were standing with their wives, children, and little ones at the entrances to their tents. Then Moses said, "This is how you will know that the Lord has sent me to do all these things, and that it was not my idea. If these men die a natural death and suffer the fate of all mankind, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord brings about something totally new, and the earth opens its mouth and swallows them, with everything that belongs to them, and they go down alive into the realm of the dead, then you will know that these men have treated the Lord with contempt." As soon as he finished saying all this, the ground under them split apart, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them, and their households, and all those associated with Korah, together with their possessions. They went down alive into the realm of the dead, with everything they owned. The earth closed over them, and they perished, and were gone from the community. At their cries, all the Israelites around them fled, shouting, "The earth is going to swallow us too." And fire came out from the Lord, and consumed the 250 men who were offering the incense. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, to remove the censers from the charred remains, and scatter the coals some distance away, for the censers are holy, the censers of the men who sinned at the cost of their lives. Hammer the censers into sheets to overlay the altar, for they were presented before the Lord and have become holy. Let them be a sign to the Israelites." So Eleazar the priest collected the bronze censers, brought by those who had been burned to death. And he had them hammered out to overlay the altar, as the Lord directed him through Moses. This was to remind the Israelites that no one except a descendant of Aaron should come to burn incense before the Lord, or he would become like Korah and his followers. The next day, the whole Israelite community grumbled against Moses and Aaron. "You have killed the Lord's people," they said. But when the assembly gathered in opposition to Moses and Aaron and turned toward the tent of meeting, suddenly the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. Then Moses and Aaron went to the front of the tent of meeting, and the Lord said to Moses, "Get away from this assembly, so I can put an end to them at once." And they fell face down. Then Moses said to Aaron, "Take your censer and put incense in it, along with burning coals from the altar, and hurry to the assembly to make atonement for them. Wrath has come out from the Lord, the plague has started." So Aaron did as Moses said, and ran into the midst of the assembly. The plague had already started among the people, but Aaron offered the incense and made atonement for them. He stood between the living and the dead, and the plague stopped. But 14,700 people died from the plague, in addition to those who had died because of Korah. Then Aaron returned to Moses at the entrance to the tent of meeting, for the plague had stopped. Numbers 17.